packets on packets on packets on packets on packets. I got packets on 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 packets. I got packets on 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 packets. I got packets on packets on packets on packets on packets on packets on.
Put in the F around and you find out.
Hey folks, coming to you live today, and if you catch us on YouTube, if not, it'll be some other time. Who knows when you actually catch this? But my name is Travis. I'm here today. You got to introduce yourself here, Mr. Zim.
What up? I'm Zim, also known as Vordal on Discord.
Yeah, so we don't have a big agenda today. We're kind of going to talk about, what are we talking about? Some JTAGs, some debugging, some hardware hookupables?
Yeah.
It's been a cool week.
Debug.
Yeah, debug. I've got a box full of some stuff to pull out. I was just telling Bordo, I just picked up the battery profiler toolbox from Odie, or Quitec is the name of the company. And one of our good friends is now working over there. Very excited for her. And they have recently revamped their policy, their subscription policy for the pro licensing. And so now pro licensing is just included. And then if you want to pay for additional services, they have like a server scriptable tool. Don't get me lying here because I haven't played with that one. The other one I haven't played with yet either, but I do have it over here on an Odie loaded up, so we could dig into it. But beyond that, so check that out at Quitech, I think. Google it, you'll find it. The device is called the Odie, OTII. Now, I also had the pleasure of attending the Texas State of Texas finals competition for FIRST, the robotics competition. And two of my nephews were competing in this. Shout out to the Liberty Hill team. Oh, Team 8088, by the way, which is hella cool, man. So, had a great time out there. You could walk through the pit area, and people were more than helpful to, show off the robots, talk us through the firmware, really get it into kind of the nitty gritty of what they had going on out there. And hopefully we can chat about that a little later. But I don't know if Gray Hat Guy is going to be joining us today. Hopefully he'll pop in here. I'll let him know about it, but he may be busy. Who knows? So, with all that said, hopefully our audio is working this week. Hopefully we are well beyond any of those problems that we kind of had there for a bit. So, what up with talk to me about the Power Profiler 2, man.
Oh yeah, I just got this bad. Yeah, yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah.
So what is it? Yeah, talk to us, man.
Yeah, it's basically like an amp meter. It's an easy way to power profile a live circuit. So I have a Red Pitaya, which is like a multi-tool, but in order to like profile and watch the circuit live, it requires me to build a circuit and like extra stuff. And for $100, this thing is super impressive, dude. Yeah. I ran it on the WM1110. I ran a bunch of GNNS, like probing. It's so hard to explain how Semtech is doing that, but it only was pulling like 6 milliamps the entire time, average over a 1 minute period, which is, dude, this new LR1110 is pretty dope, dude. It's the first time I've really used it.
What Seed is using in these guys right here, which is their tracker unit, which is pretty slick if you haven't checked them out. And they also have a dev board for those, which if I can get this open, I hate these cases. For some reason, I just can't ever open them. But this is the dev board for those guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so weird, dude, because like this is mine.
Okay, right. You have one of those.
And it's pretty much the same fucking thing, dude. And
because
like, I love this thing.
Pretty much every pin is broken out on those dev boards, right?
Yeah. And then the super caps and the battery sled, which I wish they didn't put a battery sled. Why didn't they put a fucking battery terminals, dude? So you could put whatever battery pack you wanted on it. It's so aggravating. I'm about to fucking hit this thing with the heat gun and see if I can get it to come off. I think it's just glued. I'm not
Well,
really
okay.
sure though.
The thing is, on these, I think these are ultrasonically welded.
Really?
I think I could be wrong. I could be wrong, man. But I believe they are. But on these guys, there's actually another form factor called the Mini that I have around here. Let me grab a box. Hold on. Yeah. This guy is another form factor of those same boards.
I haven't even seen that yet. Is that a seed board or is it?
Let's see here if I can get. Oh, my light is still packed up. Let me see if I can. This may work. It may not work. Okay, you can kind of see it here.
Yeah, I can see it.
But yeah, I mean, you can put your pins. You can break those out on it. It's not as exposed as the board you have, but it does have a USB-C, so I give them props there. You also have a UFL breakout right there.
Yeah,
which is nice.
Yeah, it's really nice. The board I had has a UFL for LoRa and GNS too. It doesn't for Wi-Fi though, which is weird.
What's wild, if you look on these other seed boards, check it out. Pardon the lighting. I'm working on that right now. You've got the UFL breakouts right here. You've got antennas. You have 3 antennas on the board, and then those UFL breakouts and 2 buttons here. So it's really, really pretty slick. And for the money, there we go.
There.
I don't know any other really LoRaWAN development environment that can beat this thing right here. Because, I mean, this gives you... it has a Wi-Fi scanner. You know, it has enough antennas on it so you can get your location from a variety of radios, or more importantly, I think you could turn those radios off and save your power consumption, which is kind of what we're talking about tonight. So here, let me go back to this other board real quick, just with a little light on it so you can see it a tad better. These are great little boards though. And the way I use this, I actually have this Velcroed. That's why it has a case on it. I have it Velcroed to the back of my notebook, so I can I can connect directly from this with a short cable over to the side of my notebook, and you just have an AT command interface for your LoRa radio, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. I've never, dude. It's kind of crazy because I never cared about power. Never cared about power consumption before now. Like I did. I always considered like 12 volts low power. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, it's a 12 volt board. That's like nothing, dude. Now
I mean,
I'm like,
and that's
how
a
long
problem.
can we make?
I mean, a lot of people in the industry don't think about power design early enough in a product's life cycle. I mean, in product design life cycle. They're like, oh yeah, and afterwards you need to power it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you're right. And it almost always it shoots you in the foot if you're not like, if you don't really pay attention. You're like missing amps you need, or you don't have the amp hours, or the voltage is browning out because you're running too many peripherals. Yeah, no, for sure. I've experienced that,
right
but
now,
like on a larger scale.
No, it hits any project that's powered though. I mean, that needs power, which is going to be all of them, you know?
Yeah.
I'm on a project right now where literally like 11th hour, like before going out, it was made known to us that there will be no power on the site. And this is a multi-week, test trial. And so we had to go solar, and we had to go, I mean, everything had to be self-contained. Like, oh, okay.
Right.
So scrap, like, oh yeah, okay. Think of these things beforehand. Think of your use case. Think of how you're going to power these things, because I mean, and can you use super caps? I see a lot of people using super caps now, and it's interesting. Um,
Yo, that was another thing because of their discharge rate that like I always avoided. But the way that I think this WM, like this dev board is set up, I think it's like a good way to run it. And because I'm pretty sure they charge the batteries in the diagram, it doesn't say, but it has like a battery manager or whatever, not battery manager, a voltage, whatever you call it, and the arrow points from the super cap to the battery. But I don't know that means it's going to charge the battery. But it's super interesting because if you add a cap and then a battery and then a PV and you get to use all these power sources together, you can get the amps you need and still have like long battery life. Autonomy almost.
what chemistry are they using on these tracker things? Do you know? I know it's
I
not
have no
lipo
idea.
proper. I know I left this in a car in Texas and on the dashboard, and it kind of ballooned up a little bit, but it went back down. It got better, but
Yeah.
it you gotta gotta watch for the swole in this Texas heat. But
That's another thing that like a lot of developers or engineers don't really think about is like where's the item really going to end up? Like is it going to be in a freaking sweltering hot car for most of its life? Is it going to be outside and freezing for most of its life?
Yep.
Like I learned the hard way with my my off grid with my LifePo. That thing, dude, it gets to like 20 degrees and that thing's like nope.
Yeah, and
So-
so you start looking at. I mean, like I've used LifePo 4s quite a bit, and they have a much more tolerant, I guess temp range, and you can drip charge them with solar and not have to have
Right.
really the buck boost setups that you do, and the constant current, constant voltage. I mean, a lot of that is kind of made easier with them, and you can power them, and then when they're dead, it just goes. Zoom. Your voltage
Right,
pretty much
they're
goes,
dead, yeah.
yeah, they just die immediately. So,
You can't pull a lot of amps
go
out
ahead.
of them though. You can't pull a lot of amps out of them though. That's the
Yeah.
one downfall is you can't use them to like start a motor or like run a car, but they are a great emergency battery.
Yeah, and that's not really what I mean. They're awesome for, I mean,
Yeah.
you're not looking for cold cranking amps, I guess, with them necessarily. But I've seen them used in some like camping generator
Yeah.
rigs. I don't know. That's one reason I'm kind of excited about this OD battery profiler. What it will do, it will let me throw. I have a lot of these Panasonic 2600 milliamp hour 18650s, and
Yeah.
I bought hundreds of them a few years ago, and I just want to do a straight up like real world power profile where it does a discharge, on it, and lets me say how I want it discharged exactly. So,
Right.
looking forward to playing with that. But you have this, you have that, or this effectively the dead board on this hooks up to the power profiler.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you show off the software like what we're talking about here? Can you screen share on this?
The power profiler?
Yeah, just so folks can kind of see what we're talking about as far as the interface on it.
Yeah.
Not to put you on the spot, man.
No, it's totally fine. I just gotta move some stuff around, but I can get her going,
Yeah.
I think. Let me find. Yo, the other thing too is I have so many USBs plugged in now with the camera that I don't.
Oh,
Yeah.
we could talk about that later on, man, because I've had a pretty bad issue over here. I use Anchor powered hubs, and if you use anything that I don't know, and then I had to invest in good cables, and good cables will really make a difference. I mean, make sure that you have lightnings where you need lightnings, and you have the expensive cables where this is an expensive cable on it or something, so they don't get all mixed up.
Hold on a sec. Let me adjust some stuff. I'm
I
just
chatting,
pulled the DAC out and it fucking turned my light as bright as it fucking could go.
Yeah, that camera I was telling you about earlier, that Logitech Brio. They actually claim on the Logitech site it will only work with the cable that came with it.
That's so weird.
Yeah, and
like why?
It's a high-end USB-C, USB 3 cable with high throughput rating on it. they're right. I mean, not just that cable, but you have to have a pretty high-end USB 3 with heavy throughput in order for that camera to work in 4K mode, or it
Right.
just packs out on you. So.
Oh man, I'm sorry. All right, screw this light. I don't even need it. The light can stay on. All right, so I got the power profiler in.
Cool, man.
Holy moly. Oh, all right. So I need a couple jumpers for the power profiler.
And we were talking about this the other day about the JTags and the EDU, which is a very affordable version of their JTag, I don't know, little widget.
I'm pumped to have it. You can flash anything with that thing.
Expensive, by the way, though.
Yeah.
That was crazy. I don't know what happened, but those jumped up like I don't know, order of magnitude, it seems, because they used to be about $25-$30, I think.
Right.
Now they're what, $100 more than that? I think pretty high. But I went to the taco shack the other day, and it was like $20 a person for a couple of street tacos. So I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I may just be out of touch. I don't know.
Okay, so to run a power profile, it's super easy. You run it as power source mode. Go from the power out in the ground to your VIN in your ground on the device. And then we'll plug this in, and I will do a little screen share.
I'm going to try to catch that on my end. I'm not sure if this is going to work or not. We'll see.
How do I screen share? It won't let me. Weird. Oh, here we go. Boop. All right.
Okay, so you're over here. Let me assign you over to boom. There we go, man.
All right, so I'm going to bring up NRF Connect. So this is new to me. The only thing I have is the power profiler. So I'm going to open that up. It's super duper easy. Select your device. My power profiler is plugged in, so I'm just going to select the power profiler. Now, this is where you can either do a source meter, which is what we're going to do, or you can do an amp meter. But I think the amp meter is more for like NRF to NRF boards. Yo, make sure you set the supply voltage whenever you're messing around, because you don't want to blow your board out. This can go up to 5 volts, but my board's only 3.3. So like, obviously that's why we want to, yeah. Then we are going to enable the power, which is going to start my board, and we'll start sampling.
Can you full screen this just to make it a little bigger, man? Thanks, dude.
Yep. So, yeah, you can literally see it run. It's running probably the joins right now. Let's see. Pretty sure I can see.
And does it let you, if I want to put, I don't know, like serial output, when in my code, in my firmware, will it put that in line with the graph? So, it's like, hey, I'm turning the radio on. And then I can wire up those TXRX, I guess, lines over to the board.
You can, but I haven't quite figured that out yet.
I've done that mainly on the Odie, and I really do like that functionality.
Yeah, I think I need to use the GPIO pins, and I have to. There's obviously some more steps that I have to do that I haven't really gotten there yet. So
but what this thing allows you to do, I mean, you can select like a range on this, and then it will break that down and kind of give you details just about that selected range, right?
Oh yeah, like you can zoom in, select the range. It's pretty nice. I haven't like done a ton of messing with it yet, but like you can like zoom in as much as you want and like really look at, like you said, I have a lot more, because you can correlate this data to exactly where it is at in its firmware.
And
and you can even measure like, your peripherals and stuff like that. So you can do you can look at your bus work and stuff like that too.
It's very useful when you're talking about like sleep states and say, okay, I'm going to go into this sleep, like a deep sleep, under these conditions. and then I can see exactly what my power consumption looks like, under those conditions. And
Right.
what's cool is then if I make some modifications to my firmware and then run it, I can compare those two runs against one another and see what type, and say, okay, over the lifetime of a battery, or over the lifetime of a charge, how is that code change going to be represented in savings of power consumption?
Right. Yeah.
That's cool, man. So I could literally have, within my IDE, if I want, I guess, just a little line that says this line will cost you this much power consumption over a charge of the battery. That's neat.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty damn cool.
I love this thing. I think it's a super convenient tool. I probably will only use it like 3 times a year, if that. But dude, it's so awesome. It's so awesome.
It's like JTAG. Yes, you may not use it every day, but when you need a JTAG, you need a JTAG.
My JTAG spaghetti, my breakout, dude, for the fucking the EDU, the $60. Yeah, everybody get one that's watching.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about that.
The cool thing is that it's like the only JTAG you ever need.
If like you're not doing things commercially,
right? Okay. Yes.
We do have to kind of clarify that. The EDU, I mean, it's a great board. I've got one over here somewhere. Yeah, it's on my beast of a board here. But they're great little Seger devices. Now you may say, okay, well, you may not say because you can't tell in this damn camera. But the dot pitch on those looks pretty tiny. Why, yes,
it's ridiculous.
It is. So you're gonna start looking at things like this. This is a little breakout board that you can get for this dot pitch and this particular cable. A cable, I believe, does come with the EDU device.
It does. It comes with 2.
2. Oh man. Okay. Yeah. This is the J-Link needle. I'm gonna kind of talk about this one as well, because this guy. Yeah, I mean, it's you wouldn't think this component cost $120.
Yeah.
It does. And so this is what's known as a bed of nails, right? And actually this has another piece on top of it, which kind of tension locks this into place onto that bed of nails like that, right? So I can put this bed of nails through a board, and then it locks into this tension locker, and you put it at an angle, and it holds that bed of nails connected to it. Those are just little pogo pins.
For like high speed press flashing, like you can just slide it on a board, pull the pins down, and hit go. Yeah,
you'll see the little. I mean, it's a familiar kind of marking or pad marking on a board, and JTAG, and you can just lock that thing in. But there's another company that makes the same format as those bed of nails, and they're more than half cheaper. There's nothing proprietary about them. There's no magic. It is a cable. Take it for what you will.
Right.
But when you need one of those cables, you can go to like Thingiverse, and there is like a parametric print, so I can make my own pogo bed of nails. But you need to have pretty much a resin printer or something that can really do detail, because it's going to get down tiny. But when you need a JTAG bed of nails, that's what you need.
Even to get like this to work, like this like locking lid on my printer took me like 5 tries, dude. Because it's just like I'd have to sand down a little piece or like cut it with but I finally got my printer to work good enough that I figured out my offsets to.
Yeah. I'll tell you, man. I gotta say that wet sanding is such a neat trick, whatever. I mean, where you're using wet sandpaper, and it has to be a certain type of sandpaper, I guess. But just go between the grits and keep getting finer and finer. But do it over the sink, over a shop sink, and just with some hot water, and you can get it just like baby butt smooth, which is pretty nice. Now it doesn't work the same on all filaments, obviously. You can also use some type of fume like melting, but that doesn't work
Right.
on PETG, and that's mainly what I prep with, honestly. PLA, it will melt in my car, so and I'm gonna forget and leave something in the car, and then it's melted. And I'm like, God, yeah.
That's pretty much all I've been printing is PLA. I
Uh,
need to I need to
I've heard the
I need
PLA
to
Plus is good.
expand my horizons. I
I've
was
heard
gonna
the
try
Plus is
painting
pretty
some of
cool.
this stuff. See
Okay.
what happens if I paint it. Yeah. That was kind of an
Um,
idea I got from you watching you spray paint some of this stuff.
I do like spray painting. I like that barbecue grill matte black.
Yeah,
I,
that was the exact paint that made me
okay.
want to. Yeah, yeah.
It comes out looking good. It's like a flat color, and it doesn't scratch easily. That's a good. It has a built-in primer on it as well. I guess because it's made for dirty, greasy, oily barbecue grills.
Which
And
is a good paint to have. Like you figure it'll
no
protect.
kidding, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it doesn't have to be a pristine surface, really to get that going. So yeah, I'm a fan of that stuff. So I've got another little thing while we're talking power. I got to show. That let me zoom out here. What this is? It's a weird ass little device. Now it plugs in. You'll notice everything's color coded on our USBs here. So I have a USB A. Now I have. Sorry, my hand's in the way here. Um, a little rocker switch on it right here. It's a pushable rocker.
Right.
I have my terminals that I can just clip in there, my wires. What this does, the neatest part about it, it will forge USB 3 protocol signatures. So it will say, "Hey, I need more power because on this USB bus you can run quite a bit of juice through it, right? I mean
Right.
that's what laptops charge, with these, and you can push over 100. I think my Mac charger is what, an 85. Um, but this basically tries to spoof using 5, I want to say, different protocols, saying, "Hey, I'm this." Oh no, okay, I'm not. Well, hey, I'm this, and just try to convince it that it is a legitimate power hungry device that it needs to send power to.
Does it do like IQ? Is that what
Yeah,
or
yeah,
do you know how, okay.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
what it's doing. But there's 5 different protocols, I believe, that it supports. And it's just a weird little device, because I mean, it also, if you see on the side here, well, I have to put the camera on. So I have this USB A, and then over here on the corners I have a micro, and then I have USB C.
Oh, that's pretty nice. So you can break out anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it'll tell me, what type of power consumption is happening over the connection, as well, like a lot of the other little devices, that we use. But I thought that was kind of neat that it did forge those protocol negotiations.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool like little new tools coming out, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I can't stop looking at this spot welder thing, dude. I'm like, oh man,
Okay.
$32. So I just
Oh, are
want
you
to try
kidding?
it.
Wow, I mean, mine. Okay, I love my tack welder because it's pink and orange and green, and I mean, just the gaudy, like, and yellow. I mean, just the
Right.
craziest color combination. Um, it's something that you would affect. I would expect to pick it up at like a state fair, or like something where they have the super loop, and like David Bowie Coke mirrors, and
Right.
I, but you know what? It came with a foot pedal,
Yeah,
and
that's nice.
it
Yeah.
works. I mean, it was. I think I paid around $100 for it, and I don't know, but yeah, I love it.
That's a normal price, like $100 to $400. But this one I keep seeing. It's funny though, because like I went on Amazon and it was like this item gets returned a lot.
Yeah, okay, I can see that.
But I'm ready. I'm ready to give it a shot. Like, dude, I might make 3 battery packs a year, if
I'm,
that.
that's okay. Well, that's probably more than I've made the past two. But I mean, I made a few when I got it, and I mean, I guess it depends what you're doing. But what's nice is, at least the one I have, I can set it so I can set how much juice I want to throw through it, and I can say, okay, I want it to set it to triple tap, so it goes, and
Right.
it, oh, hey, look who I found.
Did
Hey,
Jason
hey,
just wake
hey.
up from his nap?
Hey,
Oh, there he is.
What is up, man?
I'm heading on down. Yes, I was outside in the garden, I guess.
Ah, it was a gorgeous day for it here.
Yeah, gonna head on down to the grotto level, the subway.
We are, just to let you know, we are live.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah. So thank you for wearing pants. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Uh,
What's up, Jason?
got the AT-AT in effect today. Yep. Star Wars.
We're talking. We're talking about JTAG. Hey, you just got an EDU. We've been talking about EDUs, man.
Yeah, I haven't really done anything with it, but it came with a couple cables and whatnot.
Damn, I got the short end there. I think I only got one, and I cut it in half almost immediately.
oh.
Yeah. Well, I have my kits that way with all the different clips and
I mean, I don't know if you can see this. This is my Frankenstein board, but you could see that. I mean, I broke everything out to these terminals, these screw terminals, from
You did
both
it
the
smart, dude.
EDU and yeah, I've got a what. There used to be another board on top of this, but I know it looks horrible, but you know what? It works.
yeah.
And if you use Dragino sensors, this is awesome.
Was that blue board on the back, the STM joint? What was
Yeah,
that blue board?
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the V-Link, yeah, ST-Link V2. But this is
Yeah.
what you use to plug into the Dragino set of series. It's just a little audio jack, but that's how you program them, and it's very handy to have one of those around. I guess if you
I've
fuck with
never used an
Dragino,
audio
so.
jack like that. That's crazy. It's kind of smart. Kind of a
Exactly,
Yeah.
cool
because you
thing
could
to
just
do.
put a little
That's
plug in it.
yep. A
Yeah,
certain 4-pin header or if something's consistent on Dragon
yeah.
Nose, just make an adapter for it. Yeah.
You can find that anywhere. You can get that at 7-Eleven in the middle of Oklahoma, man.
Mhm. 7-Eleven.
Well,
So what are you doing in the tent, Jason? What are you setting up? What are you planting, dude?
Oh, that's just a lot of it's like the wife wants some flowers, so she's got like Gerber daisies and nasturtium and I can't remember whatever else. And I just was setting it up for her first, and then I got to probably take the second round through. Oh, green beans for some reason. We get just things that we're going to eat, you know?
this kind
Yeah.
of sounds like bullshit to me, honestly. But
Yeah.
I
And
know I'm joking, man.
I'm sure, yeah, sure. There'll be experiments, but yeah, the whole agreement was that she gets to use it first, and then I get to use it after she's done growing her flowers.
Throw
So
some
that's
zucchini in there, man. That stuff will grow like crazy, dude.
That's what
yeah.
I
I
got
have
going.
a little mini
Ooh,
hydroponic systems that I can fit in there, and then also the waterfall needs some automation. Right now, I just have it on an Alexa, pretty much. But
yeah.
every 15 minutes, turn on the water for 15 minutes and then turn it off. So like just like half an hour on, half an hour off, and the full hour.
Are you
Duty.
using like Alexa actions for that, or are you using if this then that for
Yeah,
your scripting? Or
there was a couple different ways that I did it, and eventually it was as simple as just turning it on in the app for whatever the switch was.
they
The
pulled a lot
light,
of that into the proper Alexa app. A lot of what used to be third party, they really pulled in.
like
So
it was like Volink or something like that, and it had an app that
okay,
let you turn it on and off. So I filled a calendar day on off on off on off on off. But the other way that I had it when I patched it into an Alexa call
mm-hmm.
was to was something called like Script Monkey or something like that. I
Yeah.
can't remember
Okay.
what it was.
Okay.
That made a call to somewhere in IFT, I believe. If this, then that. That would interpret the script monkey to respond to the Alexis voice controls. So
Do you have
that,
to
that
have the maker thing for if this then that set up for that? You know what I mean? The maker.
yeah, I can't remember what it was called. It was like Script Monkey. It was the one that there was one app in IF that let me interrelate words or keywords within Alexa and then write little macros that they could do. So, and I think it was called like Script Monkey. It was something monkey, I
No,
remember,
I'm
but
familiar with that. I just didn't know if you needed to have the maker account over at if this then that, which they had for a while. If this then that maker account, it was a thing. Um,
I might have because I was part of their beta group, so
yeah.
I got a free subscription for a while, and now it's like I think I pay $2 or something per month for it because
Yes, yes. I had to pay this past time. I had been grandfathered for a while with the maker thing, and so yeah, I
yeah,
think it's the same flow I went through. Okay, cool.
I have to
Um,
check it. I haven't been
I
there
paid
for
the
a.
$2. Honestly, I'm like, yeah, well,
That's what I used it. It was just it was a real patch job to get it, all the work. But I was happy because I could say like waterfall on and waterfall off, and it turn on and off.
and it's pretty
Um,
fast. It's a lot faster than it used to be, man.
yeah, yeah, and that was pretty neat. And then it was set on a timer that way easily as well. Whenever I
Yeah.
used IFT, I just set timers for every half hour. So that logic part worked out okay. But
Cool.
yeah, I could monitor the pH. There's a lot more that I could do, like water levels, pH, water temperature, because it sits out there. It's outside, so it's in the sun.
Yeah.
Um, so it part of the reason that I cycle the water sometimes like um, for 45 minutes on and 15 minutes off is because it kind of helps. It helps keep the water a little bit cooler.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You also have a new weather station out, kind of in the mix here, right?
Yeah, the weather station's working pretty good. It's all through the seed portal right now.
Okay. Which isn't
I've played
bad, dude.
with
They,
APIs a little bit, somewhat. I haven't really utilized their APIs and their MQTT and HTTP
right.
type of uh, integrations that they have yet, but
But you
it's
got that
definitely
new gateway as well, so you can. Oh, tell us
yeah.
about this.
So
I want to hear about this.
I probably, I'll try. I'm gonna get the seed weather station. It's kind of good with where it is on the whole seed sense thing, the portal.
Yeah.
So it's okay. I do want to kind of understand a little bit more what they're doing with the APIs because I don't know that well. Like maybe they have some stuff that I could use. you know.
Yeah.
Is there like an easy way to integrate to MQTT or HTTP or something like that? Then that would be something neat to discover. And I just have to go through their code and try the stuff out, kick the tires, and say, whether
Yeah.
or not it has usefulness. But that's the
Yeah.
only more to do with the seed side. Um,
No, it's not.
from
You're also going to use the indicator. Sorry.
yeah, yeah, the indicator is pretty easy. Yeah, it's just another device, from there, and then whatever measurements we want to publish from it. So yeah, that should be just kind of a drop in, you know.
Keep thinking that.
Um,
Yeah. No, it is. They are. But you're integrating a lot of stuff. I mean, with LVGL, with you have the RP 2040. You have in addition to the ESP 32S3.
yeah, but
It's
from a lower RAN perspective, it's just another radio. You know what I mean?
hmm
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But you have a different because you have dual microcontrollers that have like a conversation bus between them.
Yeah.
So they could, talk to one another.
Yeah.
The way that you would address a radio is more through a like you kind of handle incoming messages over, and then I just dispatch what I'm going to do with those. So
It's
it's
like the radio stuff would just be going on in the background, and whatever those processors wanted to send something to radio, probably one of them would talk to the radio, not both of them. You know what I mean? And so you just kind of send it to that guy and say, "Hey, I'd like to broadcast this on the network."
I'm going to be hitting you up with questions, man.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. What I want to do with that is just I have it going towards TTN right now, and I want to do the same thing with them. Just understand what capabilities I have, since it's kind of like a router or a hotspot that's basically, you would call a phone rooted. I can kind of move around a lot easier and set up Sharp Stack a lot easier with it. So yeah, I'm gonna try them out and then
Okay.
kind of hook into probably TrackPack. I talked to Neil a little bit,
Fuck yeah.
just message saying that I needed to set something up, and then let's talk about whatever.
Awesome. Yeah.
So just to, so that I had some like space maybe over there as well too, and then ultimately the fact that I can multiplex and it's pretty much an open platform. I could do what I want. I might as well look at like multiple LNSs, or having a box that if TTN is there, then you use TTN. If they're not there, then let's see if Helium Network's available, or or TrackPack, and can kind of look through all of them. I think
TrackPack, for anyone listening that doesn't know what TrackPack is, can you give us a quick rundown? It's awesome. It's
yeah, they offer pretty much full LNS services, and device services, hosting devices for lower end, and a lot of that is around tracking of assets, both
like these
the
things. Like, yeah.
Yep. So they have some pretty interesting technologies that way that don't involve GPS, and yeah, it's a pretty good outfit. They'll hook you up. They'll
And
host
the
it.
interface is awesome. I mean, it seems to get better every damn day. But yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
Yo, and they roam helium, so you get like the best of both worlds. And I think they're working with Actility, possibly. I know Neil mentioned it. Don't quote me on it, but that would be pretty cool too, because they're a pretty big commercial network.
Yeah, and that ties in the satellite networking too, as well, that way, through that avenue. Yep.
Want to see
I heard
something?
they're starting to dabble in some narrowband IoT as well, which is kind of cool. So they're really touching all the bases.
I've heard that. I heard that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm
posted
supposed to say
something.
anything,
I think I tagged you, Jason, about it on NBA. Yeah. Okay, cool. It's an interesting paper. I'm not all the way through it, but it's got some points that I think you'll like in there.
He really breaks it all down, the different sectors and different divisions, and like what their capabilities are, what their weaknesses are. It's kind of like an assessment of the whole ecosystem.
It's a master's thesis from a few years ago, 2017, 18, I believe, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was definitely worth reading.
Yeah, and it kind of relates back to like what the which groups are anticipated to in the end. There's going to be so much market capitalization or so many IoTs out there that we physically need, and how will they be distributed amongst the groups? How's that going?
And between the countries as well, because I think we're going to see a disparity there.
Yeah, exactly. Certain texts aren't going to go in certain countries, and then others are. So you're going to have gaps that way. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. Yep.
And I don't even think a lot of the market leaders know where things are going. So
yeah,
you know, I got to show something off if you don't mind, and then man, I want to see your greenhouse that you have in there, and if we can jump to that afterwards. But I got to show something I did on my telephone with the Bus Pirate, right? And so, I mean, I could say, okay, I connect to it. I can pull help up, right? And so I just have a little cable, you know, I don't know, 8-inch cable connecting from my Bus Pirate to my phone. And this is the terminal interface for the Bus Pirate. This is the Bus Pirate 5. And so what I could say, then I made all these little macros down here at the bottom, where you can see, ignore the top row, it's not done, but help, mode, info, exit, volts, you know, all these other little macros, which all that does is makes it a little simpler when I'm using my phone. So I can say, okay, I want to go to mode, and then I want to hit like 5, which goes to I squared C mode, right? Then I'm going to say, okay, let's go 3 volts, agreed, okay, and then I can go ahead and say on. Oh, sorry, I can't see my screen now. Oh, I needed to say yes, not 3, huh? Okay. I'm kind of fouling this up. I guess if I just look at my screen, it's a little easier here. Maximum current, I'm going to go with that. Requested, okay, that works. And then on, and then if we look over here, we are actually on now with just kind of the okay defaults there. 2 milliamps? But we have our SDA and our SCL, and it shows how those are now broken out on the first 2 that are beneath the voltage out at the top pin there, which is kind of neat. You know how, and then I can hit off, and that's going to toggle our power supply, which is a regulator power supply that can do up to 5 volts. So you know, it kicks that off. I can go, if you can see this over here. I have my pull-ups, and so I can, you know, set the state of pull-up resistors on these lines. I can do frequency. I can do bit banging. I didn't want to take a whole lot of time on this. I just wanted to kind of show that using a free like app for your Android phone, you can make it kind of, you know, Velcro the Bus Pirate to the back of your phone, and you've got a pretty neat little, like, you know, screen-based interactive tool for fucking around with hardware. So
yeah, it's pretty dope that it's so portable like that. Like, you were doing all that on your cell phone?
yeah,
Yeah, that's
I mean,
dope, dude.
it is wild because the cell phone, obviously, because, you know, it is an awesome computer. But I mean, to have this type of hardware I/O coming out of your cell, you know, it's neat, man. It's really neat. And because these Bus Pirates use the RP2040, which Jason knows a whole hell of a lot more than I do about them, it's a neat little microcontroller to have in there with the way they do PIO. Yeah.
It's made for debugging, quite frankly. I mean, it was built like to with the open OCD debugger that they kind of built into it, which does JTAG, with pretty much anything that you ever wanted to do for the RP2040 development. It was made into a debugger. I've seen the RP2040 made into like 3 or 4 other debuggers as the core. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
I know. Yeah.
it seems to be like the platform that everybody wants to use. And Sager kind of takes a different approach. I think they have their own proprietary chip or whatnot. Yeah, it's amazing. That little Pico probe that they had, that they were using to reprogram the bit warden on the Microsoft devices. I mean, that's it. That was just a Pico probe right there. RP2040 with a few IOs assigned for debugging. Yep.
If you don't have a Bus Pirate 5, go buy one. I mean, you will not go wrong. I don't think you can possibly go wrong with one of these. The firmware is
How much are those?
like $50.
Yeah, if you get it, it's like 45, and then, you know, some online shipping stuff. But
yeah,
and they have some probes along with it. There's like 2 probe sets that they have, like $9 a piece, which didn't look that bad. If you don't want to build your own probes, you might want to pick those up too. But
I use the
yeah,
hell out of this thing. And people have borrowed these. I mean, I probably purchased. This is a 3.5 bus pirate. I probably purchased a number of these that just they disappear. You don't ask where they went as long as you know that they're in use. You know what I mean? But these things,
Yeah.
this is like an earlier version. The version 4 of the Bus Pirate wasn't really fully developed through with the firmware as much.
yeah,
There's a community edition of the 3.5. If you have one of these or get one of these, you have one that's unskinned, but this is just a 3D printed case on it, and these are awesome. They could do a lot of the ice. I mean, most of the protocol stuff you could do on this. The
yeah.
screen is neat, so I can see how all these little pins are mapped. Because you do get it. Oh, I made a cable, by the way. It came out kind of broke, but it's all right. And yes, that's hot glue, but yeah, Oh, what happened? I'm a dumbass. I crossed my orange, my red at the end, and then glued it, and so yeah,
Shit happens.
I
Yo, and
know,
hot
I know.
glue is just fucking silicone potting.
Well,
So
and no one else is going to use
ashamed of
this.
that hot glue.
No one else is going to
Well,
use this, and if they do, they'll just know that the power is actually on the line underneath it. It's kind of a
yeah.
big one to cross there, but yeah, of course. But I mean, Jason, would you disagree on the bus pirates? I mean, they're
It's awesome. I was actually looking at it. I didn't pick one up yet. I saw they were still available. You have to go to that guy's site. The design, there's the
oh
PCB design is
yeah,
straight from
dirty
their site.
PCBs, right? Is who is doing them?
Yeah, yeah. That's it. That's the outfit.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
I don't see how you can go wrong. It's an open hardware design as well, and
Yeah.
so anyone can, I guess. It's not called cloning. I don't know what the term is. Is making I guess making one of them and selling them because it's open hardware. But the these things are very very valuable, and I was thinking about it the other day. I would consider that probably one of the first tools I would have as or want suggest getting as someone who's messing around with hardware is a bus pirate and a power supply or like an adjustable switchable power supply. I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to tell you, like, is this signal really there? Why isn't my I squared C device working? Am I even seeing a pulse? Is there any
Yeah.
addressing going on? Can I see anybody else? For probing in and also having simple UART interface for a
Yeah.
debugger. And then from the UART interface as a debugger, you could also be doing your other boundary scans on other buses, spy,
Yep.
and things like that, and see about how timings might be occurring and things about between the devices. So it's a pretty good reverse engineering tool or development tool to try to,
Yeah.
like, if you think that your firmware is supposed to do something and you're not sure if it is and you need to check, it works really well for that. But yep,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
it
I'm curious. Is it going to be able to run with like SIGROC or I mean with like Pulse View? Like the logic analyzing like Pulse View. Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure that you could. Yeah, they said something about that. I haven't challenged anything about it, but they said that it works with pretty much any type of logic analyzer clocks you wanted to put into it. Anytime any of those references that you wanted to pipe to it, you essentially could utilize. So,
And so that
uh,
displaces like having one of these. And this is a clone. Well, not a clone, but it's a $20 logic analyzer, which is everyone has one stashed away somewhere, and they're just amazingly valuable, for this type of stuff. You can actually use a USB dev board for the same purpose, and it supports pulse view as well with the SIGROC stuff. And you probably want to do some protection on your IO so you're not blasting at it outside of its range. But I mean, for $50, just seriously, the Bus Pirate it's only going to get better as the firmware matures. So, and it's open source, so jump in and if you got something you want to port or you want to pull in or integrate interface, get in the project. It's one of the most exciting like little gadgets, and I like gadgets, man. But it's one of the most amazing things I've seen in years. And Ian's been working on this for years. This has been a long time coming. So it's very nice to actually have one in hand and wonder what those crazy lights do. So
It's just it's basically software that can run any analog to digital converter, any analog signal, serial analog signal, and analyze it, with like you'd see on a trending oscilloscope or a voltmeter. I think you could even have FFT analysis on that software to
Yeah, it's
look
like
for
a PLC dream. Super good for debugging like logic line.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about hooking up these to my Bus Pirate the other night, right? And these are my Tektronix cables. These are really nice Tektronix cables, right?
Yeah.
And so I mean, because maybe you need a 4-foot extension, and so it just goes to like a 40-pin, like a breakout, right? And then your end flyaway leads, these just unplug, right?
Yep.
And I have that new DuPont kit that you kind of turned me on to. So I'm like, yeah, I can make a pin adapter for that.
I'd almost cut the ends off of the Tektronix cable, but that's
I
just
would.
me.
Oh, yeah. I mean, seriously, these cables cost more than my first car. That's not a joke when I say that.
Yeah, I understand.
I couldn't cut those. It would just hurt me on different levels. I don't know. I mean, yeah. Why would you cut them? I'm sorry. Are you just fucking with me?
Oh, just to use the clip ends, and then wire the clip ends to wherever whatever cable was useful.
I mean, because this, goes from the 40 to dual breakouts and then a ground.
Yeah.
And each one of these has its own set of flyaways on it that are all color coded on the end.
Yeah.
And these just plug into your clips.
Yeah.
So I can get easy clips.
Yeah, you need a replacement for that cable. Yeah. Just so you could reuse the clips. The clip is the only important thing to me.
Well, what I was going to do, I was going to make it so I could plug this into the Bus Pirate or the 4-foot into the Bus Pirate.
Yeah.
And so I could have a 4-inch or a 4-foot version.
4-foot might not be a good idea. So your eyes are going to be right at that.
You're starting to get pretty far. Yeah.
You're going to talk to me about good ideas? No, I'm not saying it's a good idea. It may be a horrible, horrible, horrible idea, but doesn't necessarily mean it shouldn't be done.
No, yeah, you can test it out and see. I'm like 4 feet. That's a little bit crazy.
Well, you got to get a ways away from the light so you can see normal.
Yeah.
So, speaking of lights, man, what's up with the greenhouse that you teased us with a while ago, man?
Oh yeah, it's still going. Like I said, it's mostly Molly's flowers for now.
I'm not talking to you, Jason. Sorry. I'm talking about the inside sneak peek that you showed us, Sim.
Yo, I'm getting close. Is
this something you can talk about? Or I'm sorry, Jason. I just yeah.
No, in the small room, yeah. So I'm gonna set up a small indoor grow with my gear for a med patient, and give that a run there. And I have a small little rack here, But yeah, I'm going to try a small room for a med patient, and then after I get that run done, I'm going to do my whole 40-footer. So
Nice.
my whole 40-footer. I have a few people that have like 20,000 square feet that are interested, but you have to have a product that's nailed down before
Yeah.
you install it in 20,000 square feet of indoor grow facility. But
But
yeah,
you have
there's a
some
lot.
folks that are working with you on getting this, through your, kind of in-house testing, and
Oh yeah.
that's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah. So far, all the testing has been like dry run shit, just like sitting in cups of water and shit like that. But within a week, openly automated will be growing weed.
That's
So
awesome, man. That's
yeah,
awesome.
dude, I'm super happy. Yeah. I got light
Congratulations.
dimmer, so we can dim lights, we can turn motors up and down. We have soil moisture, we have relays, so we can shut all kinds of shit on and off. We can turn things on and off. We have RS-485, SDI-12. We can pretty much accommodate any serial. So like any fucking sensor. Rock made up this dope little fucking sensor template. So like even if like people don't really know what they're doing, you can just take your example and Rock's example and give it to Chat GPT, and it'll fucking make you a little
Nice.
firmware. Yeah. So we're really close. It's just, we're not really close. That's a lie, but
Well, I've been following the project for some time now, and
yeah.
you use standards across the board. You're using MQTT, which everything
Mhm.
talks, right? And
Mhm.
I would chirp stack as well, right? I mean, if you want to talk about starting integrating pieces together, it just seems to me you're doing things the right way. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited about this.
I have like a super like focused goal with the whole indoor agriculture, but I also really want this to work as a solution for like just like everyday people like on LoRaWAN. Like hey, I want to put a tracker in my car, and I want, my fucking coffee pot to turn on when I'm fucking 15 minutes from home, or I wanted to text my wife that I'm coming home, let me know if you need anything. Like I just want a work application into the ecosystem, and I want
And
it to
own
be,
that data. So that's
yeah,
not anyone else's
right.
data. That's your data. Yeah.
Right. I want everybody to have the data. That's the other thing with like us talking to Tinkart. Like, I want to work towards where, like, if you want to opt in and you want to feed inference to AI, maybe you can start getting some free AI tools with your automation or your application servers. So, like, the more you feed the AI machine, the more you get out of it, type deal. Like kind of how you guys were talking about the script monkey like developer thing, but hopefully like be able to carry something for free forever. Like,
Yeah.
because AI can always learn. So the more inference you feed, the more, you know what I mean? So it's not like
Well,
you ever
so
have
it
to
is
really
getting
stop.
paid as well, if you think of it that way.
Right.
So they are being paid for the data that you can, and that could be scrubbed from any PII. That could be a completely
Hmm.
anonymized data, and even anonymized data can be very valuable to systems like that. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited.
And
So
the
when
big
do we
part
get
is
to
owning.
beta test this stuff, huh?
Yeah, soon, dude. Soon.
Okay.
I need to make like, dude, it's kind of crazy because I can build openly automated for somebody's cell phone, and they can run it on their cell phone. And like a lot of people just never shut their cell phone off. So it's like it can run in the background as a service. You can have it run in two places. You know what I mean? Like it can be fault tolerant. Like there's so much. And yeah, I just want to work. Yeah. Soon everybody will be able to play with it. It's so easy to build too, and build for whatever you want. Linux, Windows, Mac,
Yeah.
Android, fucking
Nice.
iOS. Yeah. Yeah,
So how does this
I'm
work? Is
excited.
this? I know both of you use open source software. How is this licensed? How does this work? Is this something I can just pay you and I just buy a device? Is this something? What's the
So
deal here?
openly automated is kind of like an idea. So like the software that we have written is free, and I plan for it to always be free, and it's only going to get better as like me and Rock continue to work on it, or more and more people contribute. A lot of the way that I was thinking about making money, or you know, yeah, the money aspect is always important, is through consulting and doing bigger installs. Because like, if you really think about it, like, us and like the people watching this show are the minority. Like, most people don't want to build this stuff. They just want to like plug something in and they want the automation to work. But
Yeah.
there's so many things to automate too. And like, when you start thinking about commercial tasks and stuff like that, and automating things for business, there's endless work, and you really need an easy to use application server for it all. So consulting and install and like support is really what I'm looking at for like making money. Like, you know, you pay $500 a year and you have access to support for the year, and you can call someone, get them on the phone, or send an email, or you could, you know, do a consult. Someone comes out to your facility and automates the facility for $10,000. You know what well, $10,000 consult, and then you got to pay for the install. But yeah,
No, I got you.
idea.
I kind of like that. I like that type of subscription plan for service. I think it makes a lot of sense, because that means that they already know everything about, or I'd say you already know everything about their setup, and so you don't have to go through and do a survey every time. I mean, you're like, okay, yeah, I can pull you up. I know what's going on. How do I help you? How do we get some folks, to get you back online, to get you up and working again?
Yeah.
And for $500 a year or whatever, I mean, yeah, it's worth it. I promise you, because you use that one time, and it's going to pay off. I mean, service fees for.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I know that. And like, I don't know that 500 would work, because I've been in the support industry before. And if like, dude, if I'm fielding a giant load of tickets from your corporation, 500 is not going to work. But
or if you have
I
to
don't
do one
think
site
that,
visit, it's not going to work. I mean, so you want to try to do everything remotely when possible, but and make it so don't nickel and dime me on tickets, but if you have a problem, we're going to fix it, and our shit's just going to work. So I like that model. I really do.
And the open source model too, like, it leaves room for other people to become like really good with the system, and maybe start their own thing. Like,
I heard Red Hat got big.
Yeah. Yo, and so the other part too is I always talk mean about this, but the United States infrastructure needs major help, and like, it's really nothing crazy to improve the entire thing. It's literally like a drop-in with an ESP and like an RS-485 module, or a Modbus module, or SCADA, or
we're talking SCADA system, and pretty much in place right now. And so
right, and literally just using like the eFuses and a secure boot on the MCU, and then passing that off to a secure TCP/IP connection, and then you've literally secured everything. Or not passing it off at all, and just encrypting the local data for once,
and which all the new ESP32s, like the S3s, the C6s, all of that is handled there, right? I mean, you can have a complete secure. But what systems we're talking about here? We're talking about transportation. We're talking about oil and gas. We're talking big stuff. That is all
control systems, basically, in general.
Ladder systems. They don't want to go and replace these systems with, they want to bolt on. And so you've got to make sure you have a bolt on that works securely and works with existing systems. Hopefully, expanding the control system. I mean, the interface for these systems, but you don't want to lose all the training that's gone into people knowing these systems.
Right.
Because
exactly. Yeah, you really need a retrofit. Well, you don't need, but like, you do, because the cost to redeploy these systems would be astronomical.
Yeah,
like, it's just it's
not gonna happen.
It's not right. So like, if you can just retrofit with like a drop in.
Yeah, the whole industry now is kind of funny, because it's mostly based upon the fact that these control systems with SCADA and with RS and Modbus, the design of them, the layout of them, what's the device addresses, what's the whole Modbus map look like? All that stuff is just hidden. You know what I mean?
It's
It's just
black boxed. Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
secret about they're secret about it. Nobody will figure it out. Well, you know what? People can figure it out. It takes them a whole hell of a long time to do so, but you can figure that out. So their whole security right now is based on the fact that they're secret about their layouts and their
Yeah,
drawings, which is
obfuscation. Yeah,
You could drill
it's
down
not.
with machine learning right now to a pretty nice level of detail on a lot of this. If you give it enough time to do active discovery on,
Yeah.
and you let it watch your Modbus. Modbus is what we're talking about, I guess. With 40.
Go
Anyway,
go to what Google Dorks, and then look up some documents there. You could pretty much find any industrial control system you're looking for. That's where they
yeah.
leak.
Modbus has been around since '76, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's even older than that because, like, dude, like these serial connections are what, like, these were like predate personal computers, man. This
But I
is
mean,
how
Modbus is
computers.
well documented. Modbus, that's
Yeah,
not the problem. The problem is the register locations and how its Modbus is configured for a particular, use
Yeah.
case, and companies black box it, or you get turnover in employees, and that's a big thing too. You'll have companies that don't know how it works
no,
because
right.
old Frank, who ran this shit, he's
Yeah.
he's been dead for 10 years.
He wired that
Um,
up. Frank that one up. Yeah.
I mean, it's a big problem. It's that we're seeing a generational gap, of course, between people coming into the industry and people leaving it. But it's completely different technology that has been bridged without a problem. But how do we? I mean, the documentation on a lot of this is so black boxed. It's I don't know.
It's really bad, dude. A PLC closet is a scary thing to look at,
Oh,
dude. It's
yeah.
yeah, and especially
Yeah.
when it's not working right and it's like clicking at you, and like you can see a spark here and there, and you're like, oh fuck, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And no one
Yeah.
knows how. I mean, there's no. You're lucky if you can get a 3-ring binder, and that's.
I've always been like super lucky, and every time I've been confused, I've had someone to hold my hand, like an
Cool.
old dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel you. No,
Yeah.
it's not always like that. Sometimes it's like, well, we hired you to figure it out. You're like, oh,
Right.
Yeah.
You hired me to call someone that knows how to do it.
Like if you want to strip
I've told people before. Yeah, I've been like, hey, I'm here. Could you have found this person? Because I found this person, and now I know how to do it. That's why I'm here. Oh
yeah,
Lord.
yeah, exactly. And you have to learn a lot of older systems in order to know how to interface this. But that's why I was saying like MQTT has been. I mean, that's been solid for ages. Pretty much everything in IoT, industrial IoT is supports MQTT.
Mhm.
It's secure now. I mean, a lot more than it used to be.
Yeah.
So it's something that you can bank on to be a secure protocol for transit. And it can be anonymous,
It
through brokers. I mean, there's a lot of good points to it. It's easy.
There's so many use cases for MQTT, and the part that I love about it is that it's ubiquitous. So like I could stand up an MQTT, Jason could stand up his own MQTT, and Travis could stand up an MQTT, and we could all configure devices to transfer data between all three servers. Like the servers don't give a fuck about shit. All they care about is finding out who is publishing to a channel and who is subscribing to a channel.
Right.
And then the rest of it is just so ambiguous.
Yeah, and clients can't
like,
see
there's-
through the broker. So
No.
a client can't see who's providing, right? They can just see
Unless
who's
someone
brokering.
relays it.
Yeah.
Someone relays it, right? But you can't see the broker. You don't.
No,
Well,
you can't see
see
through the broker. You can only see
Yeah.
your endpoint on the
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah, and you don't. Yeah, so you don't know who's subscribing either to your channel. So
It's-
unless, well, you can, because you can jail users. So like a user has to be you to hear that channel. There's all kinds of, dude, there is so much cool shit that can be done with MQTT, from like chat servers to like another layer of the internet to
just
obviously
setting up your
pulling together.
topics. I mean, just your
Right.
topic structure, your tree structure on topics can really define a lot of the logic that you're putting into this application. It's MQTT.
Yeah.
It's what's up.
Rock actually wrote at commands for our
Nice.
application servers.
Nice.
So like all of our SDI 12 commands look just like an at command. It's like there's plus signs everywhere and you're like changing channel names, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Like
SDI 12 is another industrial protocol that should be more popular than it is, but it is, in my opinion. But it's solid, and there's some pretty straight up reasons to move over to that, I think, as far as stability are concerned. But,
yeah, long range serial interface, basically. It's great for sensors. It's great for pretty much anything, but you can actually send 12 volts of power over the bus, which is also super cool and not usual for like many other buses. Like you're not going to put 12 volts over SPI or, you know.
So you see this used in agriculture and
all the time.
Yeah.
Agriculture, STEM.
Waterings.
Basically, it's like the STEM bus. So like when you start messing with like chromatography and like other stuff, you'll have a lot of SDI 12 sensors in agriculture, a lot in like process engineering. So like when you go into a factory that's like making food bowls and like, you know, it's putting like 3 ounces of carrots and 2 ounces of corn and 8 ounces of rice into a bowl, like, yeah. Or RS485, or, you know, there's a few, but SDI 12 is nice because of the way it, like, you can address and read the buses and the sensors and all that stuff.
And if someone wants to learn about this, you could just, I mean, it's something anyone can jump into. You can get a little, an IO board that talks, for like WizBlocks for whatever platform you're messing around with. You know, you can get something that you can talk to on it.
SDI 12 is one of the more difficult, dude, because like, believe it or not, Rack is one of the few people that have an SDI 12 module. Other than that, you're gonna have to find someone like, you know, like the guy that the bus pirate, like that has like made it. Like there's this guy named Dr. Lou, and he has a Dr. Lou's SDI 12 module. It's like a USB adapter type thing. But other than that, dude, it's like, yeah, Rack has like the best option for SDI 12. So
Well,
if you need an SDI 12 module, hit up Rack. Yeah.
Plug for fucking Rack, man, because we've actually or Open has they're about to drop these kits. Something like this. There's 11 like IoT verticals, and one of them has kind of what we're talking about here. You know, it has that board or that what that module included in it. So the WizBlock platform, I'm a big fan. That's what I used to work for this other company, and we made developer kits, and we based those around the WizBlocks. I think it's a real powerful modular way to get, especially for STEM education, to get kids up to speed with, or kids or grown kids or adult, kids of all ages, up to speed on firmware development, on going from idea to, in the field actionable, solution. So yeah, check out Rack Wireless. They do some great work over there, and keep an eye out for these new kits, new IoT kits that should be coming soon through Open, which is One Planet Education Network. Little plug there. Sorry, guys.
No, that's totally fine, dude. I love Rack, man. I'm waiting for a few more pieces.
Oh, yeah. I'm a big fan. They gave me a screwdriver years ago, like one of those super disco screwdrivers that has my name engraved on it. I'm like, that's pretty dope.
That's fancy. Yeah, better than a pen.
Yeah, well, my wife got me this. Oh no, this is a digital stylus. I've got a space pen somewhere, so whenever I'm up in space, I can write upside down, and it's really served me well.
Yo, I'm always writing like on a wall or like upside down, and my pens really do always die. Like in the lab, like you're always like.
I'll send you one of these pens, man, because They are. It is a nice little. I don't know. I'm kind of a geek about certain things, and I like these little notebooks. With the covers on them. And this is my space pen, and it fits like right inside of it. But it's I don't know. It's a clickable, and yeah, okay, yeah, I got you, man. Yeah, I'll hook you up with the space pen, man, because they do write upside
Everybody's
down.
got a little black book, right?
Well,
Everybody's got one.
I still
Got to
keep
keep
it on
track of who
paper.
owes us
Yeah.
the money.
Got to track the
you
billings.
know what they
Yeah.
say. They say the most secure thing is paper, cash, money, and a little pen and paper, baby.
Yeah, paper, man, or these. We've talked about these before, but these are the stamping kits. If you need to stamp something onto washers, So, I need to sit down and actually do this, but this is just
Yeah, boy.
Yep. You could make your own grills with those. You know, you
like
could make your own
it's
grills. Yeah.
cash money or what? BTC money. Yeah.
You are from Texas, man. Paul Walling it with the fucking
Right?
gold fronts.
Oh, not just Texas, from fucking Houston, man. Shit.
You'll have to pull that Texas draw out and really, really work it,
Well, we're not. Yeah. Oh shoot, man. Yeah. Paper, pen. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna write a note to send you a space pen. Yeah. Where am I at, man? Oh, and speaking of,
yeah, I was trying to find mine. I've been digging a little bit, and I think I'm gonna do some more work tonight. But
okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna just start plugging shit into those 4 fucking JTAG pins because I know this J-Link's gonna tell me exactly what to do. Yo, the J-Link is just, dude. And the Sager, what is it called? Sager freaking IDE or whatever it's called. Embedded Studio is so awesome.
Oh,
Yep.
It does suck that like if I wanted to make money with the Sager Embedded Studio, it would cost $20,000. But to try it for free, it gives you everything. It's like, man, so tempting to just like YOLO. But yeah, we don't want to infringe any licenses.
Make money with it. Let's say you figure out like one step of a problem with it, and the Sager helped you figure out that one step of the problem. That's not embedded. It's not embedded. It's not part of your bill of materials or anything. So, I mean,
right. That is kind of true.
Yeah, I just used it. I used that wrench. I used that hammer to figure out the problem along the way. What's the difference?
Or the chainsaw. I found it's been.
The sawzall is always involved.
It's instrumental in a lot of my software. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, it's funny you say that because I just got a chainsaw because I got a bunch of
okay.
trees down. I can't wait.
What'd you get, man? I gotta know what you
like
got.
a still something or other.
Okay.
It's not huge, but it's not tiny. Big enough to hurt myself, cut my leg off.
It's just the right size to climb trees with, right?
Yeah. No, I wanted this one that had like the handle on the top, and the guy was like, dude, like you're just cutting trees. This is for like guys that are like doing different stuff. I was like,
when you're buying chainsaws, it's a weird like kind of zone you get in though. When you're chainsaw shopping. I know I understand, man. It's
it was exciting.
Did you look at electrics?
I didn't. Just because I'm going to be in the woods and I'm not going to have any,
I understand. I was just wondering if in that process you looked at electric offerings because they still suck in my opinion.
They still suck.
For a chainsaw. Now for a lot of the other tools, I think that I've got a impact wrench that you can really take like any tire off with, and it's pretty banging. But you get into higher volt, 18-bolt systems, and but there's something.
I have a Milwaukee bandsaw that I use all the time, and it's a battery powered thing. I use it for like PVC and metal pipe. The thing is the best, dude. Love
Milwaukee makes some pretty cool tools. And this is something I do want to do soon with you guys is talk about modular storage systems. I saw so many cool ones at this first competition. They had because they had the nice rack. I mean, the nice like tool organization. Whatever you call them, tool. Benches. I don't know.
I'm so disorganized. I'm like, I need to clean my lab again.
It's a big
I'm like just
thing.
looking at my desk, like, oh god.
Like being organized and knowing.
You know what? I use the cigar boxes. I go down to the cigar shop, and they have all the boxes there. And like they want like $1 per box or something like. And I don't mind paying $1, but most of the time I load up with about 20 or 30 of them. And the lady's like, "Just give me $10."
Oh, nice.
And
That's actually not a bad idea.
that's a kit. That's a kit right there. Like I'm working on something. It's usually like a project, so I can put everything in that box and be like, "Okay, I gotta clear some. Put this off to the for a little bit."
These are stackable, so I can like connect them together, which is nice. So I can put like 3 of these together, and then just carry them all at once. But you need a container for your containers of containers, is what it comes down. I mean, it's turtles all the way, and you've got to. When you look at equipment like this, it goes from expensive to really expensive.
Yeah,
wall mount units
seriously.
and. There's a project called FindyBot 3000 that you should look up. It's a voice-driven part finder. It's on, I think it's on Thingiverse or Hackster.io, actually, maybe. But it uses a voice interface to tell you exactly what drawer a particular part is. So I could say, I'm looking for red LEDs, and it will show me everything where they could possibly, where they've been filed. And so it runs like a DB backend on it. And I built one before.
That would require me to put in where the red LEDs are, though. And like usually I'm like, oh, cool, USPS.
But you get to a point where you're just like, we're gonna have to burn it down with fire. I mean,
Right.
I don't know what else to do here. We're just gonna have to move and just
to move. That's hilarious, dude. That's it. I need to reorganize my lab. We need a new.
I can hear my wife saying something. I have headphones on, but I can hear she's commenting on what I'm saying in the other room.
That's funny.
Because I know if you've known me for a while, you've seen me in 3 different rooms of this house, talking on. Yeah, I don't know if you heard that.
I heard something about fire.
No, baby, we're not setting fires. No. But yes, storage systems I would like to talk about because it gets a little out of hand after a while, and it makes sense not just for personal storage, but also for sharing and donating and being able to lend parts. I've written a manager for this before, where for my meetup group that I've run in Houston here for a while, to be able to lend parts and know where they're at or tools or whatever to other people, right? Anyway, it's something I'd like to talk about in the future. I guess we're at about an hour and a half now, and I mentioned earlier I do have to kind of cut, but I can leave this up and running if you want to keep the show going. I've just got to bounce for a call.
My kids are screaming. I can hear them.
Okay, all right. Then we'll cut it. That works.
Till next week.
Thank you guys.
Yeah,
I had a good time.
You guys. See everybody in Discord.
All right, sounds good. Keep your greasy side down. Adios, folks. Bye.
Packets on packets on packets on packets on packets. I got packets on 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 packets. I got packets on 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 packets. I got packets on packets on packets on packets on packets on packets on.
Put in the F around and you find out.